Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly as part of our continued Roadmap to Recovery series. And you'll see that I'm joined today by Paul Melinis, who is, of course, the Managing Director, UK and Europe for APT. It's lovely to see you, Paul, in this new year. How are you?
I'm very well, Lucy. Thank you. Happy New Year to you, and it's great to be on screen with you today.
Good. Well, listen, we've got lots to talk about, as I say, into a new year. And I bet you're glad to see the back of the last one. I mean, it was tough, wasn't it? How was it for you guys?
Well, look, I mean, 21 is one of those years that you were pretty glad that it ticked over on the 31st and we could put it to bed. I mean, there was so much uncertainty in the market. We had so many things to look forward to. We were launching those 3 new Travel Marvel ships that obviously didn't get away. And most importantly, we didn't have any guests who traveled on any holiday, which is really upsetting. But there was a silver lining, and we managed to retain around 75% of our guests by booking them onto either this year or 23, and we had to launch 23 early. And the other thing I would say is something that none of us really get, and that was time. I mean, we had time as a business to really take a helicopter view and have a look at how we can improve things. And that's not something you can do every day. And we had all staff input, and the results being very, very good in like flexible working policies, changing company values. We took more people on in reservations, and we also launched a new graduate scheme for 22. And we've got a new graduate who started on the 4th of Jan, which is good.
Oh, that is really good. As you say, you know, we're going at breakneck speed, aren't we, all the time? So actually just to have that little bit of time to step back. All right, that's great. And I'm sure also time to think about some new innovations. And I want to talk to you about those in a bit. But let's just look at where we are now, Paul. We're into the peaks.
Yeah.
Bit delayed, I guess, from where we wanted it to be. But we did have some good news in the last couple of days regarding the lifting of some of the testing requirements. So hopefully that's been a help for you. And you've also got a good new campaign, a new incentive out for customers, plus a trade incentive. So talk to us about peaks and how you're viewing that this year.
Well, we always run a peaks campaign, and it runs from late December. We usually start it around Boxing Day, and we looked at it this year, and we knew it was going to be a bit of a later market because we didn't know what news was coming. So we decided to just give it a go. And if you asked me this question between Christmas and New Year, I would have probably given you a different answer. But we went out with a campaign called Time to Escape, which is offering flexibility, low deposits, and some really good savings. Actually, it's one of our biggest sales campaigns ever. And in the last few days, I would say since the announcement, trading has really improved. Which is good. Look, we're not back to 2019 levels, and we don't expect that, but it has certainly improved. And to back up the Time to Escape campaign, we've got the agent incentive running alongside it called Book More, Earn More, which sounds like one of yours and Andy's game shows, but it's pretty simple. Every booking that agents make, they earn a £20 Love to Shop voucher. And the more they book, the more they earn, because the next booking then goes to 40, and then every other booking after that goes to 40. So I think that's a pretty good initiative for consumers and also for our trade partners. And we're going to be changing it up in February too. So we encourage agents to go onto the APT Agent Club Facebook group, and they can get updated with all the training and also the new initiatives and new incentives as they go.
Yeah. Well, of course, training is so important, Paul. I know that's key for you, key for every travel company, really, because there's still complexity there. We may have lost a couple of tests, but there's still different entry requirements for different destinations, still lots of form filling in. So I guess that's been really important for you, and it still will be, won't it, going forward with the destination, because you go to so many different destinations, some of which aren't even open. But
absolutely, I think training knowledge is absolutely key. I mean, I've experienced it personally myself over the Christmas period. I think that the agents that are going to really do well, and there's going to be plenty of them in 22, because it is the opportunity for the high streets to do very well, and also the digital agent as well. But I think the 2 pillars where they've really got to hang their hat on for people to come and book with a travel agent is to really get their knowledge up, to understand their products, because not only are the changes that are happening, and we're hearing those all the time, It's just understanding, what they're offering to clients and what they're selling and the differences between different cruises and different brands and things like that. So I think that's really the pillar. Knowledge is absolutely key for them. And I know that during the last couple of years, when there's been so many staff furloughed, unfortunately, I think that some agents have really taken the initiative to get on training. And there's so many tour operators that are offering some great training, including us. So I'd encourage them to keep on learning, keep on educating, and you'll be surprised with the results, because when that client makes a phone call, they're coming to you for a reason. They're coming to you because you're an expert. And I understand there are so many products and so many cruise lines and river and ocean and all these different types of holidays and destinations, but let's try and specialize in the field. And maybe everybody can't know everything, but see if you can try and generate a specialist that if a river cruise call comes through and it's for Asia, then someone might have been on it, and you can pass them through. I think that really will help everybody moving forward.
Yeah, and as you say, as customers need so much more reassurance at the current climate. So in terms of what they need to be trained on, in terms of what you've got available to sell, talk to us about your program. Have you changed it going forward? I know you said you had 23 on sale early, but what are you really pushing? And in terms of that pickup in sales you're seeing, what are people going for?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that are really important to us. So we launched 23 early. We actually launched it in August, and we did that for two things. One, as people were moving out of 21, they wanted different options, and we wanted to keep them traveling with our brands. So they were asking for 23, and people were still unsure about 22, and I understand that, and especially at that time. So we opened 23, and we started getting quite a few sales or movements to 23. We put Croatia in market, and that's something that went very, very well for us. So we did our small yacht cruising in Croatia. We were adamant that was going to travel in 21, but got held back on that. We sold 85% of the inventory on that within the first 6 weeks, so that was fantastic. But we've also just looked, because of how popular that's been, we've just put another one on sale for 22 now as well. So we've got two opportunities for Croatian cruising in 22. We've got the new ships on the Mekong. We've got APT's new luxury build on the Mekong Serenity, and the new travel marble RV Aspara. Now, the thing we've got there is we just need Vietnam to open up. Looking at the numbers, we're hopeful that will probably open up more towards the back end of the year, but that's also a great time to travel to Vietnam. We've just come out of Christmas, but we've got Christmas markets for 2022 that I know are popular, especially on the Rhine and Moselle. And then we've also launched a private touring program as well, which is something new for us. We've launched it in Portugal and Croatia, where it's real freedom and flexibility with a private car and driver. So there's lots of things to focus on. And
that presumably is going to be quite popular as people want to get away from the crowds and do perhaps more stuff in a sort of more of an exclusive way.
Absolutely, Liz. I mean, we sell traditional group touring. We've got that in Canada, we've got Australia, we've got that in New Zealand. But something that's been requested over the last, especially year, is something with a little bit more private. So here we've got an opportunity where you can travel in a couple, in a single, with your family, in a Mercedes Vito or similar, and have a private car and driver and do what you want when you want, through a planned itinerary, but seeing the very best of that destination through an expert's eyes. And I think that's the key, because if you're looking at Croatia, for someone who hasn't been before, is where do I start?
Yeah.
And then the question we ask is, well, what do you want to do? And that's key. Do you want, is the beach your thing, or is food and wine your thing? Is 4-star hotels, 3-star hotels? And all of this flexibility and choice is something that's become more popular. And I think that this will also bring in new clients to our brand.
Yeah, well, I hope so. You mentioned there about waiting for Vietnam to open up. Just talk to me about what the feeling is for short haul versus long haul. I mean, anecdotally, it would seem people are more keen to go back short haul at the moment, although there are some destinations long haul that are flying. What are you seeing in your program?
Look, I mean, there is no doubt that Europe is the place to be focused on right now because it is open, but I think it will open up fully a lot quicker than anywhere else. There are still restrictions, like you said earlier, forms to fill in. It's not as easy as it was back in 2019, and I don't think that's going to be the case for a while yet. But what we've got to do is just manage around it. So Europe, especially. And then we've had interest in Canada. We put that back on sale, which is good. And you know, we're still getting people inquiring and booking for Australia and New Zealand. Now, we're hopeful. We are an Australian business, and we are hopeful that we'll be able to bring our guests over from Australia to travel on our European trips. And there is so much pent up demand out there. But as you see, it's a different rule for Australia. As you see, Mr. Djokovic, he's having his own problems at the moment. But you know, I think that it's a safe destination. You know, whilst it's strict to get in and out, I think when they do open up, people are going to feel very secure about traveling to Australia because they know they've done their very best on keeping the virus out.
Yeah. And presumably people who haven't traveled for a while, are you seeing people looking to sort of trade up at all and do that longer bucket list sort of extra special kind of trip? Are you seeing those bookings perhaps coming through for 23?
Look, I think I've always said this. I think that people, the last couple of years, people have been saving and they've been saving up thinking, and one thing that's been missing from their lives that they can't do, and that's travel. You know, it's in our DNA to want something that we can't have, to do something that we can't do, right? And everybody wants to go on holiday. And some people have been waiting for a couple of years. It's not a luxury anymore. You know, it's back in the day where we used to say, oh, we're going on holiday, we've saved up to go on holiday. It's now become a necessity. And I believe in 22 that it's going to happen. We will all get on holiday. We will all travel. And as time goes on, it's going to become easier because it has to. And everybody will be accommodated. And we can just, you know, do what we've wanted to do over the last couple of years. And it's also great for our salespeople who are selling holidays to clients who are desperate to travel. I mean, you can hear it in their voice. And, you know, they're not cancelling. They're saying you can do anything. You can keep our money. We want to go on holiday, which shows that, you know, the demand is there.
Yeah, but we need new bookings as well as that 75% of the ones
absolutely,
that
absolutely, and we've seen those, but you know, there is still a little bit of nervousness around. You know, the latest news isn't going to be the absolute holy grail to bookings flooding in.
But do you think it will be enough to give us a good 22 event? I mean, obviously some operators saying, oh well, we're seeing February half term picking up even that near, but most people I think are saying, okay, we're hoping now for a good summer.
Look, we're hoping for an improvement, and we don't have anything departing until very late March, and that's right. On our first that's on a trip to the Balkans. So we've got a fantastic Balkans itinerary cruising. I think it's on the 29th of March. Okay. The good thing about that is that that trip is nearly full. But the even better thing is that people are traveling and not cancelling. Yeah. So I think that really shows that they think, okay, the end of March is still a couple of months away. I've still got time. Things will relax by then, and I want to go. Yeah. So that's I think good news for all of us. And we're seeing a little bit later bookings as well. But I think it's going to be a late market. I think people will wait. I think there will be deals to be had. Hopefully not too many. But I think there's an opportunity for people. But they've also got to remember, Luce, is that just like us, people have been moving from 20 to 21, 21 to 22, 22 to 23. And what that does, it reduces capacity. And, you know, as you've probably seen for people trying to get away skiing this year, they all thought, oh, ski will be fully available. But where have all those people have gone for the last 2 years? They've just moved their booking forward. So the capacity is limited. And I think that's what ski operators are finding.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned there, I mean, we know that you're an Australian company and that the restrictions on them are even greater. So does that mean there's more pressure on you, Paul, running the UK and Europe? Because, you know, have you got to fill more of your ships and have you got to sort of fill more of your coaches?
Look, I say with every bit of pressure, there's opportunity. And
ever the optimist.
Yeah, look, the thing is that in a normal year, we're fighting for space with the Australians. especially in Europe. And you know, as a UK business, we like to share, but not too much. You know, we need space for our travel partners to be able to sell onto. And this year, I think that if you ask me today, I think Australians won't be travelling till the middle of the year, potentially June onwards, and we're going to have departures leaving from March. So what that says to me is that we've got so many fantastic opportunities coming for agent partners in the months of April, May, and June, and I can tell you that we will have. And we'll announce it with Travel Weekly first. So that's going to be great for you. But it's just a great opportunity for agents to earn. We're going to have some special things that we don't normally have, and we should be releasing those in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, well, heard it here first. I don't think I'm going to push you for any more details yet, but we'll look out.
I'd like to. I just can't because I don't know.
No, that's fair enough. We'll report it, but that does sound exciting, and something new for people to sell is always good. Paul, I just wanted you to explain to me. I mean, you mentioned it right at the start that you were hoping to have these new ships coming under your Travel Marvel brand.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen. So I guess they're on the way, maybe this year.
Yeah.
But for people who don't know, we know APT well here because you've done such a fantastic job with your brand and telling agents. But I'm not sure people know Travel Marvel as well. So can you just explain to us the difference and how you want agents to sort of be pushing those and to what kind of clients?
Absolutely. I mean, here, we've always come under the APT banner, and that will remain. I mean, that APT is like our master brand, but underneath the APT banner, we've got, to simplify, I would call it 5-star and 4-star. 5-star APT has got your all-inclusive. So if you want to be picked up from home, you want your meals included, all your excursions, every box ticked, then APT is certainly for you. If you want a little bit more flexibility, it means that you will have more free time. You want to travel on the new contemporary ships. You want to look for more value. Then our brand Travel Marvel sits alongside the APT, and it services our guests and partners very, very well. It's a very popular brand, but it's not something that we go out with and promote so much. We just call it's part of our program, and it's our 4-star part of our program.
Okay, all right. So, but it still sits within the
main. It sits under the APT banner. I mean, all the ships that we spoke about earlier, the 3 new ships, they are all the new contemporary ships, all on the Travel Marvel brand. And for APT, we've obviously got the new one in Asia, and then we've now got an APT for Croatia, and we've got a Travel Marvel for Croatia. It just depends on what your client's requirements are, and it enables us to be nimble as well, which is great.
Okay. I mean, you mentioned flexibility a couple of times in this chat, and that's going to be key going forward, isn't it? So I know you want agents to, gen up on all their knowledge of your sailings and all your tours, and that's obviously important, but you've also got your COVID protection in place. You've got all those kind of things that they need to know about as well, which hopefully would help secure the sale. And is that something you just want to remind agents about?
Yeah, I mean, it's our flexible COVID policy, which means they can cancel up to 100 days before. They've got low deposits, and we offer COVID insurance now. I think it's something,
and that's going to continue. That's not just a
no. That has to continue. I think this will continue until the day that we're open and free again to travel like we did in 2019. And I think that every operator now, it will become standard practice. At first it was great. Oh, they've got low deposits. They've got a COVID policy that I can change when I like. But I think that every operator has followed suit because it's a necessity, number one, and it's something that clients will look for now. If you haven't got it, you won't get that booking, I believe, and it's as simple as that. And it's not easy for operators, I understand, not easy for agent partners either, because we look at the book today and say, okay, 22 is looking okay, and as bookings come in and new bookings, we think great. But we also must remember that if something happens, the client can call us up and say, thanks very much, but I'll postpone that to another travel date. And all of a sudden, the money disappears. So, it's very hard as business leaders to forecast, and especially budget. But we'll do our very best. I mean, we're used to it now. We've had 2 years of it. And I think it's going to become the norm, just like not going to an office every day.
Yeah.
and being
We
on the
get
home
used
and
to it,
doing it.
and it will be expected, as you say, from customers. You mentioned that it'll be in place until we go back to 2019. Do you see that, Paul? Do you think we will go back to how things were, or do you think actually, even like you're saying, customers are going to demand this flexibility now? They're not going to suddenly accept it if we go, well, actually, now you can't move your booking. And
Look, I hope so. Number one is I hope so that we'll go back to 2019 levels. I mean, because we were riding, and many operators were riding a really good upward curve. I think in the next couple of months to a year, we'll see what the new normal is. There will be a new normal, right? I've always said that we're going to have to learn how to live with COVID, and I think that's just proving the case. And there will always be opportunities for that will come out of this. And but as long as we can travel and there are not so many barriers, and it's made easy and simple and safe, I think clients will continue. I mean, like I said earlier, holidays are a necessity these days.
yeah,
Everywhere.
and your particular products, touring, escorted touring, where you're looked after, river cruising, which is slightly smaller, and you're also looked after. Do you think that's going to be a product that will be in demand perhaps more as we come out of this and we recover?
Look, I think so. I think anywhere that help is available, on hand, trust and reliability is going to be absolutely key. You just look at when you visit a new destination, and potentially one that you haven't been to before, you're always looking for that safety and security. Sure, you can jump on the phone and Google's available at your fingertips, and it will tell you where the best restaurant is, or where you can do this or that. But what it doesn't tell you, or doesn't help you, is, okay, the policy's changed. Well, there are probably 20 websites telling you 20 different things. But if you've got a cruise director with you, a tour director with you, someone on hand that you can go to and say, help me out, listen, I'm flying tonight, there's a policy change, what do I do? And that's what we pay our guys for, and that's why they're so great. They're there to help the guests, to make them feel secure, to make them feel safe, and that makes a huge difference. And I think that these guys are trained up to the very best of their ability, but there will always be grey areas because things are moving so quickly.
Yeah.
Policies are moving so quickly, rules are moving so quickly, and that's something that we're going to see in our lives every day.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just go back right to what you said at the start about your downtime, and now you moved to flexible working, you increase numbers in your call center, I guess, to deal with all these questions that you're getting, more of them. And you've obviously got your team on the road that we know very well. So are they out and about again? Are they sort of speaking to agents? Are we going to see more of you guys at things?
Well, look, I mean, that's the plan. They've been fantastic through the last couple of years, because it's been the hardest role, a role of a business development manager. I'd say it's the most fun role. I started my career as that, and it's great. And it's great seeing people, and for a business development manager who's on the road, they're seeing travel agents every day. They find friends, they build relationships, and it's great. And it's been taken away from them, and it's been very, very difficult. But the good thing is we've accommodated them. We've changed their skill set, so they're skilled up to other areas as well. And they're all back working with us now, which is great, and I know they're very happy about. And we'll have them out on the road very, very shortly, as soon as it's viable, as soon as it's safe for them all. And but they are there and have been there as 24/7 support. And they will do virtual meetings, or they will come and see anybody. So if anybody wants to see any of the team, they are there for it. But it's been challenging for them, and I feel for them, but they've been great through the pandemic.
I absolutely have lots of virtual calls and training. I know they've been doing that. Well, listen, Paul, it's good to talk at this time, because you do sound pretty positive. I mean, I know no one's got a crystal ball. We know what's going to happen, but it does feel that, we're in a better place, and it sounds like you're positive for 22.
Yeah, I mean, I am positive. I mean, I was positive in 21, but I'm more positive in 22. I think that only time will tell. We take small steps, and we take every day as it comes, Lucy. But I think that, I'd like to end this. I mean, I want to thank everyone in the travel business, travel media, including Travel Weekly, for supporting the industry and our brand through this challenging time, because it's been very, very difficult. You know, we've nearly come through this, and we look forward to that day when we'll be traveling maybe on that new Travel Marvel ship or on that small yacht in Croatia.
That
And
sounds nice. That sounds nice.
yeah, and just fulfilling holidays of our own, but also holidays of our clients. But I think that the industry has got together and has done something very, very special. Everybody understands where we're at, and together we were there before, and together we'll get through it. So that's very, very positive that everybody is moving in the right direction, and together. I think that's absolutely key.
I don't think I can top that. What a way to end. Good statesman-like address at the end there, Paul. I like it. Well, listen, we wish you the best. Hope agents get fully behind your Peaks campaign and earn themselves some good money with your new Book More, Earn More initiative. And we look forward to hearing the little thing you teased us with, all this new product that you're going to come out with. So we'll perhaps get you on again in a couple of weeks, Paul. But for now, we wish you and your team all the best. Good luck to your graduate as well, who's starting. That sounds fantastic. And we'll see you again soon.
Great, Lucy. Thanks for having us on.
Pleasure.